Now, let's see if we can't share this out just a little bit. We'll get chat populated here and we'll go from there. So, inside this box is a dual quad intake. Yeah, we'll let some people jump in here. You know, let's give them a reason to stop and watch. This is going to be fun. Space gasket. Wait a minute. There better be two of those over here. Alright, let's check this thing out. It's got the pockets to clear head studs. Looks like they're nicely machined flanges. Some coating damage down here on the bottom, but if you're worried about that, you're in it for the wrong reasons. All the welds look fairly clean. Vacuum ports in the bottom. Now it does have some missing coating in the back, but I'm pretty sure that's how they hung it up to put the Cerakote on it. I like it. So this will be the back of it. Provision for map sensor. Let's check out what we got in this box. So, crossover 6AN. Correct 6AN to 8AN fittings for the rails. One thing I don't see, carburetor studs, but we do have brackets with 2 holes, so you can adjust it to match your injector height. And we're going to be using the Aces injector in the bottom of this one. We'll probably put, I'm going to try and do these in matching units where the throttle body and the fuel rails have the same size injectors in it. That way, they're both going to be wired where all I got to do is swap the main injector plug on the Aces jackpot kit that we're using to control all this. I've done crazier things. I just kind of like doing the wild and unusual and stuff that should be done but hasn't been done. How's that? Ooh. Yep, just like every other fabricated intake we've put together, including the one on the truck that we're building all this on. We're just going to put enough of this together to mock it up, because we still got some other odds and ends to acquire. We got to see what we got to. I got to figure out what's needed for a throttle linkage. This one here, we're going to do it as an inline unit. There was some pictures posted in a community tab, go check it out, of the other one we've got built and set up. File that appropriately. We'll go ahead and put all these fittings in here and, you know, snug as the old fingers will get them there. Finger 5 psi, or 5 foot-pounds. Oh, wait. It's a calibrated elbow, and mine's not very calibrated. We'll be feeding this off of the back left, and the back right will run to the throttle bodies. At least that's the potential plan. We'll see how well that goes. And then crossover. I like it. They gave us all 4 fittings, not 3 in a plug. So we can set it up as a flow-through system or a deadhead. Deep motor, that's a win. Yeah, it's a win. So we'll be using some Aces EFI throttle bodies for this, and we'll have to mod some of them to make stuff fit as I'm playing with this other set of rails. Yeah, it is going to be a cool project there. I'm looking forward to it. But there's a Killshot Fusion and a Killshot 2 throttle body, and the Killshot Fusion is going to give up its life. It's got an O2 sensor circuit problem, but other than that, was a halfway decent unit. But we're going to take the ECU and stuff off of it, set it aside, and wire up some injector plugs and make that one talk to that one and delete an IEC and map sensor. You're right. Man, it's different when somebody else hands it to you and says, here, go figure some stuff out for me. That's all I'm going to say. Because I probably wouldn't have went as far as this project has escalated at this point on my own. But it is something that I am going to have an absolute metric ton of fun with while we're doing it. Now the real test is going to be when I put pressure to this, does it leak? I am 1 for 3 on these that I didn't have to build myself. And even then, I am like 1 for 25 of those that I've built because apparently I suck at it. Remember, it's not always the part's fault. Sometimes it's you. Knowing when it's you is the real winner. And I kind of want to put studs on this and nuts and be done with it, but I don't think I can. Because it would be too cool and too easy if you could. I will put injectors in it, just not at the moment. We've got options, 36s, 65s, and 100s. Yeah, these look a little suspicious. They're not the... I like to see some slightly thicker rail brackets. Not exactly going to complain at the moment. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. One thing I'd like to see is less of the branding on there. I get it, but I don't need it on my fuel rails and the intake itself. Alrighty. We know this is going to go here to here. Smack these up just a little bit more with a calibrated finger. I could probably just walk inside and easily grab the correct Allen bit and a screwdriver handle. And we don't have enough carb studs at the moment to make all this line up like I want it. So I gotta get some of those. Now just watch me spin this shit with the shoulder. Real mechanic will stare at you and then finger fuck whatever he's twisting on. and then talk to you and act like nothing's going on while he's doing it. Always be afraid of mechanic, because he'll do stuff with his fingers that'll make well, it'll make people scream. So this one's going inline because I got smaller throttle bodies to play with. I don't like how well that fit. Didn't fit worth a damn. In the words of that one guy on YouTube that became famous, I'm just gonna send it. Yeah, and the Holly top is as well. The throttle bodies I chose for it, honestly, they just look cool. I'd like to find 2 gold ones and put on top of it just to complete the look. Then again, to match everything else, I could just put 2 random color ones on it because I happen to have 1 or 2 more to play with. But what I did do is I rounded up a couple of carburetor studs a few minutes ago. But I'm short a nut. Shocker. Might go steal some stuff off of the other intake I've got sitting. Yep. Yep, look at that one. That one, because I'm putting a bracket on this one so I can measure and decipher. God bless my cut phase. Now beware, this is not the correct gasket for my application. But we're going to use it anyway for this, just so I don't add scratches when I shouldn't. Problem, there's only one. And can we be real? It's not even usable. It is now. One. I'll be right back. And we've acquired a second gasket and a throttle linkage kit. So we can figure out what we gotta have. Boom. Oh. Check out that gap. 2 fingers. I dig it. That all black looks sick. And that's what we've been waiting on. Yeah. So it's hit or miss. It's actually too early in the evening for me to do this on a normal basis. But now this is a one of the fast EFI bracket clones, and it comes with a good bit in it. I just need this at the moment. Ooh, come to Papa. Wow. Okay. Oh yeah. Yep, this is going to be this is the ticket right here. In the words of Farva, right meow. Give me that right meow. Hit that like button if you want to see more. If you want to see even more of this, hit that subscribe button because I've got more, way more coming on this. Yahtzee! To the ground we go! So, mods required on this bad boy. I can probably just leave the map sensor in it to plug the hole. This back here, I know they make plugs for it, but what if we just packed it full of JB Weld? Hey JB Weld, y'all want to sponsor a guy? I'm down. The real fun yeah, you know what, worst case scenario, I get to cut this up for main video footage, so it's not the end of the world, Russ. The inline looks badass. Nope, not gonna let me do it. Throttle return spring. Alright, what all we got with this throttle kit? That would be the linkage for the 700R4, kickdown cable bracket. We're actually going to put this back in its packaging because we're not using much of it because I don't need it with a 4L80. No, it's not a 4L Slippy. GM square style throttle cable. And your low car style throttle cables. And your like cruise control cable for GM applications is what I most recognize that for. Yeah, we're probably gonna put cruise on this thing. Miscellaneous hardware. I like it. And that bracket was like 15 bucks. Kind of hard to go wrong at a price like that. So for this, we're going to go center to center with 2 Heim joints and a tie bar and pull from here to here off of our main throttle cable. We'll probably have to shorten this some, or I may have to move this up front just depending on some clearance issues. As far as plumbing goes, that's the real interesting one. The plumbing on this, if I leave rail, the way the truck's set up is it's going to feed back here. And I'm going to flow fuel through the rails at all times. That way we don't stale fuel and create issues with gumming. Let it flow through the rails, go from here to here, and then jump from here to here, cap it, or run a new line back to the regulator and not have it as a deadhead, which would probably be a smart idea with the fuel options that we have on this. In case you're wondering, I'm pretty sure the Fusion and the Killshot 2 are pretty much the same throttle body. Yeah, there's way too much to go wrong here if I deadhead it. So but this is going to see dyno time. And probably dyno time versus the low ram, the high ram, and I may have to use some adapter plates to for initial testing, or we may swap over to bolting this onto a totally different setup with rec ports. But you'll have to stay tuned to the channel to see if that happens or not. So with fuel injector options and the power level that this thing makes, I can get away with 36s and I'd be all right. And I'll be doing 36s in both the fuel rails and the throttle bodies, and that'll make the tune easier to deal with. And I can do the throttle bodies as air only, or I can do them as true throttle body units with air and fuel going through it. I didn't see these runners wasn't trumpeted in here, so it might not affect much. You're right, but we're only going to be using 8 at any given time, and until I get 16 injector control, but that opens up a whole bunch of power. Did I mention that some of this might get some nitrous plates hidden under it? Because we have 2 stinger plates on the way. They're the Amazon clones, but hey, we're going to pull them apart and look at them, and if they look good, we're going to send it. If not, we're going to fix it, and then we're going to send it. So I've got some conversion work to do on the throttle body, redo some wiring on it where it is only, actually, I forgot I had this. I built this a while back and then duplicated it and cloned it for work. But this is going to control all of this. There's a port back here that has injector outputs on it. This does not have them wired up at the moment, but that's a future me problem. And that'll go from here to here, and I'll probably just take and have them come in back here and do just like a quick 6-pin Dutch connector. That way I can disconnect between the 2 throttle bodies. This ECU will disappear. I'm gonna see if I can get my hands on another one of these covers, because it'd be cool. And if it fits, which I don't see why it won't, because these throttle bodies look really similar, like almost identical. And for anybody keeping track at home, all of these screws are 3.5mm hex screws. I'll be doing a teardown video of this unit here soon, maybe tomorrow. 6AN ORB, so you can go to whatever size fitting you're feeding it with. We're not going to do 8AN feeds because, well, we're not supporting that kind of power level. But 1636s or 1665s or hell, 1600 pound an hour injectors, could you imagine the power level we'd support with that? But when I remove this, I'll probably cap this off. I'll just 3D print a cap that goes over it. The map sensor, I'm just going to leave it in place. And then back here, we're going to cap the IEC off and plug it with JB Weld. Nice and neat, because we don't need it. Yeah. This works just 1 throttle body, but we're going to build a version of it that works 2. I happen to have one. I happen to have the parts to build it, except fresh connectors. Those are on order. Am I missing anything? Because I know this isn't going to clear a firewall in its current position. When you realize it. But then again, there's room to cut this, but that is a problem for future Chris, because that's also going to vary depending on the application that it's installed on. And then I could get real adventurous and see if I could tune it on an 0411. Because the old Blazer's behind it. I mean, you're not wrong, Russ. I've been contemplating some dual dry kits here for quite some time. And when you see how I'm plumbing it, you'll understand. Because I'm going to go fancy with some hardline and I'm going to have fun with it. Am I going to cuss myself the entire time I'm doing it? Yes. But we're gonna tell ourselves it's fun while we're beating our brains in against the wall. But 2 stages of dry, I'm 100% down for it. I've already been talking with a dry shot master in the area anyway. Sometimes you, if you're uncertain, you go straight to the source that knows. I guess I could start building fuel lines and round up a fitting to go in this throttle body. Actually, yeah, let's start mocking up fuel lines. Alright, so get this bundle of spaghetti out of the way. And I think I need a 45 right there. That's going to be just about too short for a good piece of line. Different idea. Different idea. Let's try something different. I don't need you there either. You're probably not going to be used. Alright, let's go find fittings. Where am I? Alright. I think this will do the trick. Go from there to there. Ha. Okay. So none of this wiring is going to be in the way, and neither is this, for the most part. But for now, we'll do it that way. What's up, Lazy Geek? Appreciate you hanging out for a little bit this evening. Now, so from here to here, from here to here, and then from here back to the regulator. I think that's the ticket. I think that's the ticket. Boom, boom. No, you're not you. You're 45. You're 45. Straight, straight, straight. No. 45, 45. Guess I'm out of the 90s. Okay. No, I'm not out of 90s. Just out of 90s now. Plumber's Nightmare coming up. That's exactly what this is a plumber's nightmare. Hey, you like building AN lines? Ooh. I don't know how I want to do that. What are you thinking, Russ? Feed in the front bowl, which will come out of the back bowl, feed the back bowl, and then come out of the front bowl going back to the regulator. Looks like a complete circus, but with everything being flow through, there's not really much else I can do in that situation. Be nice if I could just put a couple of fittings together and jump the two, but we all know that ain't going to work like what we want it to. I don't know, I pretty much think it's ready to start building lines anyhow. I could also feed the front of the rear. That's the joys of this. So much ciphering and this. Get this wiring harness up and out of the way so y'all can stare at my spaghetti. Mom's spaghetti. Oh, wait. Yeah, we'll pull that wide band as well. Okay. From there to there. From there to there. And then this one goes. And now. We will put a map sensor here for testing purposes, while keeping the one up here as well. When you lose so much weight and you don't put a belt on? Yeah, I'm suffering. This is our primary, and tie these two together. it is on. Yep, this is definitely got to move forward. Nice little defect, but we ain't gonna argue. Alright, there's our game plan. We'll go live when we do a final assembly on this unit and an install video. Better yet, let's go take a look at what we're actually going to put this on. Say hi, Turbo. Where you going? You don't want to be on camera? Oh, you seen something you wanted to chase after. But here we are. We're going to replace the old fabricated with a fabricated. So we put a little bit of Aces EFI stuff on it. For those in question, it's just a old aluminum 5.3. I might have worked on it a bit, a good bit. But it's gonna be fun swap over. Since most everything's pretty much plumbed outside of running one new line, and we'll use a fuel filter as a union. That's how you're supposed to do it, right? Add a filter instead of just putting a union in it, because putting a union in it requires building another hose. Filter's cheap, so's hose. But guys, I appreciate everybody hanging out for a little bit this afternoon. We'll do it again, and you know, I think I'm gonna do more of these. But we're gonna go. Actually, you know what? Let's go show off something else. Secret squirrel stuff going on now. Stuff that I can't show just everybody, but I can show you this. And it's even more, this one's even harder to plumb, for the record. Because it's got to go out down there, in over here with a 90, out over there on a 180, into a 45, and then 45 out here, back down to the frame rail. I have to build a second line for this one to go down the frame. But the linkage kit was like 120 bucks, and overall wasn't bad. What would I like to see, and I'll probably get a hold of some HK Rodians, is some fancier Rodians, well, not fancier, but nicer looking, machined, not cast Rodians. It's a looks thing in this case, but overall quality with like HK Rodians is just second to none, in my opinion. This one, it's got a bracket here and a bracket back here that catches our, and everything's spot on. This intake is set up on 36-pound injectors in the rails. It is a, trying to figure out how to best explain this. It is a Amazon clone or eBay clone of the Holley low ram. We'll sit y'all down for a moment. So it's a technically an Amazon clone of the low ram. It's a came from work. I don't want to here, take it, go play with it. The Holley top has the same bolt pattern, but the bolt where they drilled the bolts is a touch smaller than the ones used in the intake that we're using. So we're going to have to run a drill bit through all of them. It'll take 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes and we're done. It does come, the Holley top came with provisions, boom, boom, and boom, for various throttle linkage setups. I just chose this one. Truth be told, I've still got to figure out how to go from here down to somewhere down here. I might drill and tap one of these, but they're kind of thin, and put a pull cable on it to where this will pull down like it's supposed to while pulling this way. Because I don't know that I can get away with a linkage like what we did on the inline. Now, we can also set the inline stuff up on this intake. It is dual drilled as well. So, it does make things interesting. This is a 5.3 test mule. Bone stock. Definitely going to cam it before we put it back in anything. We're going to throw cam and springs at it. Might even put a different set of heads on it since it's got dish pistons. It's 58X. We're going to put it on an ACES EFI system. And see what happens. Because I've got nothing to lose. I've got two motors. Both of them about equal as far as the build. I say that, but that one's... it was built differently for a reason. We'll leave it at that. This has got a 1-1 linkage, and I may move these linkages over to a set of Killshot tubes. Just so we can adjust it and see if we can add or take away progressiveness, and if it makes a difference in how they function. So little things that I wind up figuring, that we'll figure out along the way. Not much adjustment I've got here. We're kind of maxed out on rod. I might be able to slide this in and swap sides. We'll see. I did think about running a normal conventional throttle cable and finding a way to build a bracket or something that come off of here and allowed me to attach the cable. Still a potential, and then I wouldn't need this. Options, still got stuff to figure out. Because I would probably just build a bracket that went from here to here. And then came out and gave me a spot to run a cable and pull. And then this would just be the tie bar linkage between the two. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. We'll figure it all out and we'll go from there. But this is your captain. I'm outside of actually building stuff and putting O-rings and stuff like that in it. We're going to hold off on both. This one here is almost ready to bolt on once I figure out this and mod this. This one and the one on the old Fusion on the other one will both get about the same mods to them. And we'll see what happens. But for now, this is your captain and I'm out. Y'all have a good one.